morning children and welcome to this new academic year. This year together we shall explore science, and COVID-19 has given us a new way of learning, virtual learning. I will be teaching you all science, and I want all of you to open your textbook and keep a pencil with you as you are watching this. Whatever is important, please mark. Okay? So shall we start? We shall start with the first chapter. Living world classification of microbes. What are microbes? Microbes are those organisms which we can see only with the help of a microscope, not with the naked eye. We need a microscope to observe them. Living world. We are part of a living world. What is the hierarchy of classification of living organisms? You have already learned it last year. Do you remember that? Kingdom, subkingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. These are the different levels. Hierarchy means what level? These are the different levels of classification of living organisms. Every organism is given a binomial naming. What do you mean binomial? Bi means two. Nomial means naming. Two words for naming. Which are the two words they use for binomial system? They use genus and species. So every living being is given a binomial name. What is the binomial name for human beings? Homo sapiens. Homo is what? Genus. Sapiens is the species. Under this genus, there are different species. One species sapiens, that is human beings. Now I spoke about human beings. How many human beings are there? We can see in our class only. Each one looks different, isn't it? How are we going to study all the different characteristics of human being? It is not that possible. Not only we human beings are part of the living world. We have plants, animals, trees, you have microorganisms, all the living organisms that are in the sea, ocean, etc. The number is very vast. So we have to group them in particular way. That is why all this hierarchy of classification is given to you. There are some similarities when you take all together species, some similarities as you come to genus, some similarities as you come. Now, who is given this binomial system of naming? Carl Linnaeus. I don't know whether you have been observant. If you have taken a walk in a campus, we have various types of trees in a campus, and there is a name plate kept under the tree. And it is always written over the binomial name of the tree. And what is mentioned over there? Genus and species. Genus is like a surname. All of us have a surname and name. So genus is like a surname. Species is like a name. Okay, that is for all living organisms. Now, what is biodiversity and why do we need to classify them? Biodiversity. Bio means what? Living. Diversity means what? Variety. So, what is biodiversity? The variety that we see in living organisms. Do we see varieties in living organisms? Of course. We are completely different from animals. Animals and we are completely different from plants. So, there is a lot of varieties. Every living organisms adapt to their surrounding depending upon the geographical conditions, the climate changes, also the way that we intake food. All this bring little adaptation into the living organisms. It is not that easy to study about living organism. Though we feel it is living organism small thing, but it is not a small thing. If you look at our universe, it is such a vast. In 2011 census, it is not long ago, just 9 years back, there are 87 million species. 1 million is 10 lakh. 87 million species. We are talking about species. Under genus, one genus, I already told you that we belong to which genus? Homo. Under this Homo genus, there are 7 species. We are only one species, that is sapiens. Now, there are altogether like this 87 million species in the world. So, how do we study about them? It is very difficult to study about them. For that purpose, we have to group them according to some similarities and divide them so that it is easy for us to study. Now, the process of dividing the living organisms into groups and subgroups are known as biological classification. I repeat, the process of dividing the living organisms into groups and subgroups is known as the biological classification. You have the definitions in your textbook. Please mark it and learn it. Now, there are many scientists who try to classify the living organisms under different criteria. You have, I think, about 5 people to learn in your textbook. First one is Carl Linnaeus. He tried to divide them into 2 groups, Vegetalia and Animalia. Then came Haeckel. He tried to divide them into 3 groups, 3 kingdoms, that is Protista, plants and animals. Then came Chatham, who divided into 2 groups, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then came Copeland, who divided them into 4 kingdoms, Monera, Protista, plants and animals. But the latest one was in 1969, one American ecologist, who is the Robert Harding Whittaker, divided the entire living organisms into 5 kingdoms, which we are learning. So all the credit goes to Whittaker, who has given us this 5 kingdom classification. Which are the 5 kingdoms? The 5 kingdoms are the Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Now, to divide them into these 5 kingdoms, he had used some criteria. What was the first criteria that he used? The first criteria that he used was the structure of the cell. Now, all of us are made up of cells. How many cells are there in our body? We can't even count. So many cells are in our body. How is the cell looks like? You remember how the cell looks like? Cell has a structure, and then there is something known as nucleus, some other organelles over there. Do you remember? And this is filled with cytoplasm. You have learned about it. These are the cells that will be present. Now, he said the primitive type of cell was like this, which are known as prokaryotes. There is no distinct nucleus. This is just filled with cytoplasm. So all the nucleic products and everything is embedded in this. There is nothing clear. They are known as the prokaryotes. From there they have developed and come to eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell, we have a clear nucleus with a nuclear membrane and other organelles with a proper covering around it. So this is the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes do not have defined cell organelles or nucleus, whereas eukaryotes have defined nucleus, that means proper nucleus with a covering. Okay, so all those organisms which had like this type of cell, he put them together. He said all of them are one cell. So that is what we call it as kingdom Monera. They are all unicellular. They have only one type of cell. Now all those have eukaryotic cell, where again the organisms can be either only one cell, which are known as unicellular, or multicellular. Now all that is unicellular eukaryotic cell, he put them under Protista. Then he took the criteria of mode of nutrition. There are some who prepare their own food, some absorb the food, some intake the food. Now, who are the ones who prepare their own food? Of course, plants. They are known as autotrophic. Autotrophic prepare their own food. They come under kingdom Plantae. All that absorb food. From where do they absorb food? From decaying organic matter. They are known as saprophytic. They belong to kingdom Fungi. And all those which intake food, including me, come under kingdom Animalia. These are the 5 kingdoms. Is that clear to you? There is one more difference. In fungi and plantae, the cell contains a cell wall, whereas in Animalia, cell do not have a cell wall. Who has given us this 5 kingdom classification? Robert Harding Whittaker. All credit goes to him who has given us this 5 kingdom classification. You should know which are the classification, what are the criteria used for classification, and who are the scientists before Whittaker tried to divide the living organisms into different groups, and how are they. That is the entire first page of your textbook. So please take your pencil, underline whatever is important, please study them well. The characteristics of each kingdom we shall see in the next class. Okay? Before we end, I just want to inform you one thing. In your class timetable, 2 days, 2 slots are given for science. And we are supposed to have a Zoom online class with you, which I don't prefer. I prefer giving you the link where the videos are recorded on YouTube, so you can watch it over there, go through it. After few topics are covered, I will come on Zoom online to interact with you. That time you can clarify your doubts and whatever difficulties you have. That will be informed to you later. So at that particular timing, whatever is given to you in the class, please don't try to get online. I will not be present over there. Is that clear to you? Okay.